Welcome to the Motivated Mindset podcast. I have Zach Senz here, and he is actually the owner of Monikl, which is a web-based job finding app to find jobs and connect companies with people who are looking for jobs. Perfect. So Zach, can you tell us a little bit about...
Well, for one, thank you for letting me be here.
Oh, you're welcome.
But, so Monikl is kind of like eHarmony for finding a job. Basically, an employer and a person looking for a job, they both sign up on our platform. It takes around 15 minutes. They answer some questions. They'd upload either a job description or a resume. And basically, we have an algorithm that matches them on over 160 different variables to the right jobs for them.
Wow.
And this eliminates all the endless searching of job boards and all the uncertainties of staffing agencies.
Wow, I'm so intrigued to find out. I mean, how old are you? You're so young.
22.
22. Yeah. Like, wow. That's crazy. Okay, well, awesome. That sounds amazing. I'm so intrigued about how you created the app. Mm-hmm. I want to know that, but we'll hold that for later. I want to know, how did you get the idea or concept of your business?
So my background is in staffing. I basically grew up in the industry because both my parents have a business in that industry.
Okay.
So I've been hearing stories about it since I was 2, and I've actually been working in the industry since I was 12.
Wow.
And then what happened was my partner, his name is Ken, and he's a CTO. We were talking, and he was looking to hire some people for the company he works for. He is the software development manager at the time, and now he's the director of it. He was looking to hire some junior developers, and he was getting absolute garbage from job boards. So, like, literally truck drivers applying to be a developer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not qualified.
Not qualified,
No.
and it's not really fair to them because they're just not going to get a response. And they're probably looking through pages
and
upon
just
pages
wasting time.
Yeah, and they're wasting his time as well while he's trying to hire a good candidate for his company.
Right.
And then staffing agencies, they're not a lot better. Their motivation is really to get someone in the door as quick as possible, and hopefully they'll stay past the guarantee period. With Monikl, we really try to narrow it down and match someone not only on their skills, but also, are they actually a good fit for the company?
Yeah.
So are they a good cultural fit? Do they like, or do they have the same workplace preferences that fit with the company? Things that actually are relevant to how long are they going to stay there. So we reduce turnover rates and how happy they are as an employee.
Wow, that's awesome. So, I mean, really their dream job.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow. Okay, cool. Thank you. So how many employees do you have?
We currently have, at this time, around 7,500 signups on the candidate side and around 50 companies on the company side. And basically, as we grow our numbers, the more matches we can make between them.
Right. Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's fantastic. How many employees, though, do you have working for the company?
For our own company, yeah. Right now, we've got 9 people on our team.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
It's grown quickly, especially since March is when we actually launched the product.
Yeah, I was going to ask you when you... Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. March.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So, of course, you already talked about what services that you offer. How do you advertise your business?
So it really depends on who we're targeting. Mainly companies have been direct sales, but we've also been going after, like, you could do what a typical recruiter would do and actually look on a job board, see who's recruiting for what. And then, say this company is looking for a IT project manager, then you could reach out to their head of HR, basically, or someone in the IT department in there and get in the door that way. And then the other option is to get candidates. That's more of a mass marketing approach. So a lot of data-driven marketing. We do AdWords, social media, email campaigns. It really just depends. But the number one rule with doing that is you have to make sure you're collecting all the data and then refining your campaigns as you go.
Mm. So you went to USFSP and you studied entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. Do you find that the major really helped you?
Certain aspects of it, yes.
Yeah.
It really depends on what it actually is that we're talking about with it. Yeah. So a lot of the creativity stuff, that really helps because it helps you think more outside the box and get more creative with marketing, more creative with finding the right team members. Because when we were assembling the team, obviously we didn't have the the app itself to find people for us.
Find people for your company to work for your company.
So we had to go and do the old-fashioned way, put up job board postings, find the right people.
Wow.
And
so these weren't people that you knew?
No, a lot of them were people that we didn't know. Some of them we knew through friends, stuff like that. But realistically, you've got to assemble the right team. Otherwise, if you have even one bad person in there, they could ruin the entire thing and send it crashing down.
Yep, it's only as good as your weakest link.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then, in general, entrepreneurship major here gives you a good, like, broad view of business. So you learn a bit of marketing, you learn a bit of finance, you learn a bit of whatever, really. And the thing about being an entrepreneur is you kind of need to have a little bit of everything in your like bag of hats, basically.
Absolutely.
And then you actually know how to tell other people, is this the way to go about it, or at least you can supervise people.
Absolutely. The major gives you a broader
a broader skill set,
understanding of everything. I think it's super helpful. It's very much helped me too.
Yeah, versus if you're going after like a very specific business major, say finance,
you're
going to miss out on a lot of those other things.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And then, so what do you attribute your success to?
A lot of different things, but a certain amount of it is luck, being in the right place, right time, having the right background. But also a lot of it is really hard work, persistence, and it's like a roller coaster sometimes. Sometimes things are going really well and you're on your way up. Sometimes things crash and you've got to go down and then fix it. So you really have to believe in your product, and you've got to have the passion and the persistence, really, to just keep going. Everything that goes bad, it could always be fixed. It's just going to be how many hours does it take, what's going to be the cost of it, and then figure out, go forward. So it's a combination of things, but persistence is really big.
Very important. To just get out there. That's what these young entrepreneurs need to do, right? Just do.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to make sure that what you're doing is actually worth your time.
Of course.
So I actually participate in this thing called USFI. And one of the things that they promote is testing out your product before you actually have a product.
Wow.
So
this is something the school offers.
It was at main campus. I'm not too sure if this campus offers it, but
still, the school
it is USF
offers
thing.
It. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's basically a program where they have you do. It's like customer discovery. And you go out and you ask a lot of open-ended questions to your target market, and you address what their biggest pain points are. Yeah. And then you can, before you even build the product, can you actually pivot it in a way that addresses their needs, or are you actually addressing it right now? Monikl was a rather unique case because I have all the industry experience that I mentioned earlier.
Absolutely.
So we already had the idea of Monikl, and when we did that customer discovery, we were pretty much spot on for it already.
Yeah.
But that's a very rare thing. Usually you're going to find something that you need to pivot.
Right. And you obviously knew what the industry needed by being in...
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd worked as a recruiter. I've worked with part of a PEO before. That's a professional employer organization. I've worked on the actual like recruitment advertising side of it. I've done like
everything.
A lot of different parts of this industry, which is surprisingly complex.
Yeah.
It's a very large industry that most people don't think about.
Yeah, I would.
Almost everyone needs a job. But,
absolutely.
Yeah. So in the United States, it's roughly $147 billion a year industry annually, and globally, it's over $3 trillion a year. So yeah. It's not a sexy industry, but it's an important one.
Wow. Yeah. No, that sounds ridiculous. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, do you use services of a professional attorney or accountant now at this point?
We do have a professional accountant. Our attorney, we don't have one that's like on retainer. We do have an advisory board member who is a attorney that specializes in human resources and staffing.
Okay.
So if we ever need advice, we go to her.
Absolutely.
Terms and conditions, stuff like that. We've had between her and a few other basically friends of mine that are in the legal field, they can just do that pretty easily.
Yeah, good.
So advice is
So it's good to learn from other people.
Yeah.
And to help you in your business and get advice from everyone and just grasp all that knowledge.
And then one of the other things for tech startups it's not really hard. It's just most people don't know where to go to. Getting all the paperwork together for things like incorporation or your terms and conditions or even like a contract for a sale, if you're a SaaS product or if you're a direct-to-customer product. Those things, you can actually find a surprising amount of it online. So like Clerky, they can do your incorporation for you. And if you're going to be like a Florida LLC, that's not necessary at all. You could go with SunBiz. But if you're going to do a Delaware C Corp, which is what we did, I would definitely go through a service like that. You just answered
one of my questions.
I would definitely go through something like that because they give you an address in Delaware to be your registered agent address, basically. Yeah. And they do most of the paperwork, and then you just fill out a bunch of forms, and it makes it easy. Terms and conditions.
How did you find out about this?
A lot of different
You
sources.
just knew it, or?
Like there's a lot of different things. I've had like a lot of mentors, even Zacharys. I mean, he's been a great help to me, of course. And yeah, so I mean, like that specific thing I actually learned from a video that Zacharys sent me, and it was from Y Combinator in Stanford.
Oh, those are good videos. He loves those.
Yeah, it's called Startup Lecture 18, and that one has a lot of good things in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just things I've picked up over time, either from experience or from a mentor or things like that.
Yeah.
And you really need good mentors as well.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's very important. Zacharys is a good one. So what does your ideal employee look like, and how do you find them?
So for internal employee, that's
internal employee.
Yeah. So nowadays, how we'd find them is obviously through Monikl now that it's up and running. But yeah, I mean, it really depends on what they're going to be doing too. Our social media people, they might be different from our sales people. They might be different from our IT people. I'd say that there's one defining characteristic that you really need, and that's passion for what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's really down to that. It doesn't matter if they already know the skills. Are they passionate enough to learn them and then do them well?
Yeah, that's and really do them the way that you want them to be done in your company.
To a certain extent,
you know what
yes, I mean? But to a certain extent, no as well, because you've got to give people the freedom to actually figure it out on their own.
Right.
So usually the best way to go about it, I found, is to give them like a goal that you want done, and then if there's any specific thing that has to get done along the way, tell them that, and then let them try it and see how they do. Usually they'll figure it out in a really good manner if they're a good employee. And of course, you're probably gonna have to make some tweaks at the end and see what they do, review it. But yeah, I mean, you really want people who are self-starters. You can give them a task, and then they'll figure out how to get it done.
Yeah, good. Do you have a physical location or office? I know it's a web-based company, but...
So we're located out of the Tampa Wave. It's an accelerator program here in Tampa, and they also have a co-working space.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we're part of right now.
Awesome. So that's where you go to work and do most of the work for the company.
Yeah, so we work out there a lot, or work from home.
Of course. That's a lucky thing.
Pretty much everyone in the company is working around like 90 hours a week right now.
Wow.
So it's work from wherever.
Wow.
But yeah, so the Tampa Wave, we joined that around March when we launched.
Yeah.
And they've been a pretty good resource for us. They give you access to mentorship opportunities, funding opportunities, co-working space.
Yeah.
It's a really good program to check out if you're a tech company.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So what are your company goals?
We've got a lot of different goals, and it also depends on the time frame, but right now, our number one goal is getting more companies on the platform to balance it out. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got a lot more candidates than we do companies at this point. But because we have all of those candidates, we've got a good carrot on a stick for the companies to join us, which is a really good thing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be probably typical, though, that you'd have more people searching for jobs, right?
Well,
in so general, many people, especially right now.
Yeah, so Monikl is a double-sided platform, like eBay, Uber, any double-sided platform. Who comes first, the buyer or the seller?
Absolutely.
So, or the driver or the rider, that type of thing. So we made the decision early on to go after candidates heavily first, and then refocused on companies and try to balance it out.
Absolutely.
Because doing it the other way around, it could have worked, it might. But the problem is, if you sign up a company and there's no candidates on the platform for them,
they would drop
they're not really interested in signing up. But if we say we've got 4,000 candidates that are looking for this specific position that you want to fill, why would they not sign up?
And also, I think it's the candidates who are looking for jobs know that it might take a little bit of time, especially in the beginning of this company.
The average job search using conventional methods, it's 6 weeks to 4 months. So,
wow. I didn't know it was that long.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and once Monikl hits critical mass, it should be instantaneous if you get a match or not.
Yeah. So, what is unique about your business, which I know there's many things. What is unique about your business, would you say, compared to other businesses?
Monikl has a kind of compound competitive advantage. We're cheaper than the alternatives. Once we're at critical mass, we're going to be faster. We're going to be making better quality matches than they can even do. And that will lead to lower turnover rates, better employer satisfaction. And we could also do something that's industry specific. We're able to do both temp and direct hires. So temporary placements are where we're actually the employer of record, and it's called employee leasing. So basically, like say that I'm the company and you're the employee and this is the staffing agency. You would actually work for the staffing agency, and then you would be leased to the company to work. And that way the staffing agency is the employer of record, and then they take over all liability, insurance, stuff like that. There's a lot of different benefits for this, but we're the only...
This seems so this must have taken so much research to...
Well, I mean, this is something that I knew from being in the industry.
Very true.
Yeah, so that temp side of it is a much larger aspect of the economy and of that actual staffing industry than the direct hire side. And right now, we are by far the only IT staffing product that can address temp. So that's something that down the road is going to be massive for us.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic. Wow. Okay. What are your responsibilities as a business owner?
A lot of things. I'd say your number one responsibility as like the CEO of a startup, make sure that you're always funded, for one. So that means like we're applying for seed funds or applying for venture capital, angel funds, stuff like that. And also we obviously have to make money too.
Right.
But
hopefully pay the employees and yourself, right?
So basically, funding is always a concern for a business owner of a startup. You also have to keep an eye on sales and be heavily involved in that. You've got to be heavily involved in marketing. You've got to be involved in managing your team. You've got to be, it really, as the CEO, you're involved in every aspect of the business, from development to your team members to marketing, sales, everything. It might be different for each individual business. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're a brick and mortar business, you're going to have different issues to worry about. You might have to worry about, can you pay your rent this month in the beginning? Can you drive more traffic into your business? Stuff like that. It's a different challenge for each business.
Totally different.
But again, the number one thing is you've got to be good at really, I wouldn't say multitasking, but like juggling many different tasks at once.
Yeah. Can you juggle?
Not literal juggling.
Should we just see if you can do that?
I don't know. My coordination is not as good as my business coordination. But
so what made you choose this business? Was it because you were already in this business? Was it because you saw a gap in the market that something was missing? Both. I mean,
both.
Is this always kind of what you thought that you would?
It's not always what I thought I would do, but.
Okay.
I've got a very varied background along with the staffing stuff, but I've always had like a good passion for staffing.
Oh, that's good.
And just like helping people actually find what they want to do and what they will actually be happy in versus just taking a job because you need a job. And then you might be working there, you might be making good money, but if you're miserable, what's really the point at that point?
Absolutely.
So Monikl really specializes in placing you somewhere that is going to have the right salary for you to actually pay your bills, obviously, but a place they're going to be happy in too. But yeah, I mean, I also obviously saw a gap in the marketplace. I saw the opportunity to really disrupt it and make something that is far more efficient, and that interests me as well. So
yeah, that's awesome. So have you ever turned down a client?
We haven't turned down a client.
It's still very new.
Yeah. But I mean, just the nature of how Monikl works, because we're a marketplace, realistically, there's no reason to turn down a client unless they have like a bad like credit reputation or something like that, or or like they defrauded us or something like that.
Yeah.
That would obviously be a good reason.
Bad, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much any employer can sign up, and then they can put in what type of position they're looking to fill, etc., and go from there.
Yeah. So is it really that easy?
It is that easy.
You make it sound so easy. Is it really that easy?
Yeah, it takes 15 minutes for an employer to sign up, and then they can list as many positions as they want on their profile, and then they'll get matches as soon as we have them for them. Which, like I said, we've got a lot more candidates than companies. So if you're an employer, you've got a good likelihood of getting matches right now.
Awesome. And what piece of advice would you give young entrepreneurs today?
Oh boy, there's a lot. If I had to say one piece of advice, I know everyone is going to probably say the passion thing, so I'm going to give them the marketing thing.
Okay, so have passion.
Yeah, have passion. But really, data-driven marketing and data-driven decision-making. That is huge. Most people, unless they come from a marketing background, they don't really know about it.
Right.
But you can track literally everything with your marketing campaigns. So let's say you've got an AdWords campaign running, or 5 AdWords campaigns running, and one of them is outperforming the other 4 by 15%. Yeah. Then you've got to go dig through the data, figure out why that one is outperforming it. Maybe it's different targeting, maybe it's different wording in the ad, something like that. And just do experimentation. And then from those numbers, you can make very clear decisions for both marketing and also for business decisions. Yeah. So if I've got this one thing outperforming everything else, should we discontinue those things and put more money into this, double down on it? Yeah. Should we then dissect this and do some more experimentation? Can we even optimize it further? Things like that. Absolutely. And that's really important because if you want to make sure as a startup that your budget is going towards the most productive thing it possibly could, because every dollar counts.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you, Zach Senz, for being here with us. And we're going to close out on the motivated mindset, and keep in mind that passion is the most important. Thank you.